Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Screamin'. Welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and the Final Shape / Echoes intel. And today, once again, is Friday, so we have our Friday weekly update. Xur has returned. Unfortunately, no Trials of Osiris again this weekend because we've had Iron Banner the last 2 weeks. But I'm going to get into all the information regarding Xur as well as all the other farm glitches and cheeses that you might want to use heading into the weekend. There's some good ones this week, some new ones. If you haven't had a chance to play very much, there's also some really easy farms for some great endgame mats. And of course, there's still Iron Banner, so we'll cover that a little bit too. Xur can now be found in his normal place in the tower. Lucky for me, I got an exotic Cipher. And today he is selling for the catalysts. We have the Wardcliff Coil Catalyst. Seems like the Wardcliff Coil has been getting a lot of attention in one form or another from Xur, as I believe it was sold as one of the exotic weapons either last week or the week before, but now you can buy the catalyst. Cool. Remember, this particular exotic does have a unique out-the-box perk to it in that if there's anything that is coded as a vehicle, which some bosses are, this particular weapon does uber damage to it. It's not the only one that does, but for some reason, when Bungie coded certain bosses, they coded them as vehicles. Don't know if, or how many there are currently like that, but there's definitely a few still. And occasionally get a really easy GM boss just because you have this weapon. So, worth picking up the catalyst just in case. We have the Skyburner's Catalyst for the Skyburner's Oath. Also, kind of a unique weapon. Haven't found myself using it very much lately, as there's just some other great options in the Scout Rifle spot, but does extra damage to Cabal. So there are places, unique GMs, actually I think one we might even have this season, where this weapon is a little bit better than the average Scout Rifle. It also plays really good, I'm sure, with Prismatic Builds, as it played incredibly well with Strand Builds, so still worth picking up. We have the Assassin's Cowl for the Hunter class. Great exotic to have. With a 67 roll, definitely pick this up. Great stat distribution, very high roll. Obviously not the highest you can get on any exotic, but still will go well into all builds. Remember, you can actually make your exotics Artifice Armor now by having an exotic Cipher like you saw me just pick up, which is one of the reasons why I'm investing a little bit more time in getting exotic Ciphers, but certainly pick up the Assassin's Cowl. It's, in my opinion, one of the best just go-to exotics for the Hunter. Certainly one of the ones that I use when I do play on a Hunter. And there was a few seasons ago where I was playing on a Hunter quite a bit, and this was actually my go-to exotic, was the only one I ever really used, just because of how it paired with Arc and Invisibility. It was really great to have. We have the Mark 44 stand-asides for the Titan class with a 66 roll. Also a decent roll, not a bad stat distribution. Safer shoulder charge abilities. I was actually a little bit surprised last week when we got the Peregrine Greaves. Apparently that's like the go-to exotic for the Titan. You can tell I don't play on the Titan all that much, but sort of a similar exotic. Maybe not quite as good as that, but I'm sure still very viable, and would love to know in the comment section down below on both of these exotics, if you play on Hunter or Titan, which one of them is more your go-to meta, which one you might find yourself using more, and which one you might be more likely to pick up. For the Warlocks, we have the Sunbracers with a 68 roll. Definitely pick up this roll if you don't have a good pair of Sunbracers. This is actually everything you're looking for. Really high resilience. Recovery could be a little bit higher, but discipline, intellect, strength kind of, mismatched. But still with the 25 resilience, if you don't have Sunbracers, they are still a very good exotic to have. Maybe not the best at the moment, but still really good. Especially, I find myself using them occasionally in the raid, as well with the Stag Helmet, the new raid, just for the final encounter, because I usually end up even though I would love to run Prismatic. Shout out to DJ and Sinister. I end up having to run a Well of Radiance just to help out my team. So I still use these for the add clear section on occasion. But a really great roll. Never miss out on a good chance to get a high rolled Sunbrazers if you're a Warlock. Or really, if you're anybody who plays on all three classes. Unfortunately, we have no Artifice armor this week, just Vanguard Ingrams. So it's really looking like that Artifice armor we got a few weeks ago was kind of a gem. It's not guaranteed it's going to come often at all. So when it is around, you know, people, I think, scoffed at it a little bit because they thought it was a low-rolled piece of Artifice gear. But remember, when you upgrade that gear and then put all the mods on, you're still looking at something that's going to be significantly higher than most rolled armor pieces. So when it's here, take advantage and make sure you buy it. That's it for the main page of Xur today, other than, of course, the rank rewards. Now we're going to go into the more strange offerings first, and then we'll cover the strange gear offerings. We have 57,000 Glimmer available for 11 strange coins. I'm going to pick that up because I'm a little low on Glimmer. Great farm for Glimmer every week. Xur has some really great offers on this stuff. Interestingly enough, again, 41,000 for also 11 strange coins. So obviously not always the, well, certainly strange costs for sure. So the name says it all. But I'm still going to pick this up because 41,000 Glimmer for 11 strange coins is not bad. And I do need to spend the strange coins. So everything in the strange offering pool is still sort of worth it. Not this one, though. Do not spend 29 strange coins on 17 enhancement cores. Better ways to get enhancement cores. This one, though, yeah, that's all right. Favor of the 9, still worth picking up, so make sure to spend at least a certain amount every week. These are certainly not the worst places to spend it, especially on the Glimmer. Even 11 strange coins for 41,000 Glimmer is still a good deal. And I have made mention of how, like, I think Xur is now probably one of the best farms for Glimmer in previous videos, and people laughed. But 11 strange coins, you can get that in one Nightfall run, even especially if you have the buff active. So make sure that buff is active. Also, the random strange gifts are great because you can get raid banners. So who knows what you're going to get. This is usually where I end up spending the strange coins in order to get my Favor of the 9 buff. If for the more strange offerings, now we're going to go over to the strange gear offers. And the exciting stuff for this week's exotics, of course, we have a Hawk Moon with Quick Draw. We have a Suros Regime, worth picking up if you don't have one. We have the Skyburner's Oath, so you can get both the Skyburner's Oath and its Catalyst today. Fairly interesting. Thank you, Bungie. And then we have a Thunderlord, everyone's favorite go-to exotic for boss damage. And honestly, just a great add clear exotic. One that I find myself bringing with me on occasional GMs. Certainly for a lot of different boss clears in different raids. It's kind of like I think the benchmark where, you know, it's always going to do reasonably well. Might not be the best for, say, a boss damage in a raid, or in a Nightfall, but it's always going to do reasonably well, and you can kind of always measure everything else against it. So definitely worth picking up the Thunderlord if you don't have one. Actually, really good exotics today. Let me know what you get from the exotic Ingram if you cash one in. For legendary weapons, we have the Friction Fire with auto-loading holster and slideways. We have a Shepherd's Watch with moving target and firing line. We have a Distant Terminus with Genesis and firing line. We have an Ignition Code with Disorienting Grenades, Quick Draw, and Frenzy. This is a good one to pick up because of the Disorienting Grenades. It's great in endgame. Really great in GMs. Would have loved to have seen something like auto-loading holster on it, but Quick Draw and Frenzy, This is a very reasonable ignition code. If you don't have one, get this one. We have a Huscow with Threat Detector and Kill Clip, Shattered Cipher with Auto-Loading Holster and Zen Moment, and an Eternity's Edge with Infinite Guard, Thresh, and Counterattack. For Legendary Armor on the Warlock, we have a 64 on the Gauntlets, 64 on the chest piece, 67 on the helmet, though strength is wasted, and then we have a 63 on the boots. So nothing really stand out as far as Legendary Armor goes. Seems to be fairly relevant across the board as I checked out the Hunter and Titan. Everybody has about the same level as far as total stats, but I think the Hunters had maybe a couple more with slightly better distributions, but nothing really major as far as Legendary Armor goes this week. Divine Lord Sinister joining me in the tower. Remember, Sinister also streams most days, and if I'm playing, I'm usually playing with him. So if you're ever interested in checking out a live stream, hearing our discussion live, maybe seeing us do a raid or a GM or two live, make sure to head over and follow him. His link to his Twitch stream will be linked in the description or pinned. It's either him or my buddy DJ's stream. We're usually on one of the two, so make sure to check them both out and follow them both. And that is going to conclude Xur today. I'm now going to head over quickly to the courtyard, check out what Banshee 44 is selling as far as weapons. And while we're heading there, I just want to give you a brief recap on some of the stuff that I've already talked about this week. We talked about the GM and Nightfall for this week. The reward is the Uzuma RR4 sniper rifle. Remember, it comes in its enhanced form now. If you can complete the GM, you get an enhanced adept version. Banshee 44 has a false promise with overflow and unrelenting. We have a dire promise with triple tap and swashbuckler. We have the vision with pulse monitor and sympathetic arsenal. Widow's bite with pulse monitor and eye of the storm. And honor's edge with enduring guard, energy transfer, and counterattack. This week's GM and Nightfall is the disgraced strike, which is one of the oldest strikes around. Was an old D1 strike. Very easy one to farm. Unfortunate that the sniper rifle is this week, as it's probably not the thing that most people are looking for. But this is such a short strike, and because it's only barrier champions and unstoppable champions, no overload champions, which are the really annoying ones, it's very fast and very simple to do. So it's really just great to farm out Nightfall Ciphers or things like Ascendant Shards, just exotics in general, so different exotic armor pieces. If you're running it fast, you can probably get a disgraced run done in, under 15 minutes. I'm sure people will get them done even faster than that, but that's probably the average. So if you're just looking for some really endgame mats, never missed out on a disgraced, and hopefully the next time it's around we'll have a slightly better weapon available. Remember, of course, we also have Iron Banner this week, which has some great weapons. We have the return of the Criminal's Dagger hand cannon, which is actually very good, I hear, in PvP. We also have great things like the Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher, which is a strand wave frame grenade launcher. Never miss out on a chance to farm that out. Also, the Claws of the Wolf, are really great in PvP at the moment. This one with Snapshot Sight and Rampage is probably a very decent roll. Remember to buy the Iron Pledge ornaments. You can equip these to give you more rep, which will give you more Iron Ingrams. You can also equip these on top of already existing Iron Banner pieces of gear, and you will get double rep for them, so you don't have to wear quite as many. You'll get 2 for every 1 piece that you're wearing if you have an ornament equipped on top of an Iron Banner piece of gear. And you can actually go over the allotted bonus for doing that, though I'm not totally sure what the effects will be. Sometimes you get more reps. Sometimes your loot drops at the end of Iron Banner matches glitch out. So just know that going in. But another weapon I would think about farming out is the Lethal Abundance, great for PvE. And we'll just open the director really quick. Today's Legendary Lost Sector is over on Neptune. And it is a fairly difficult one, if you ask me. I'm not really a fan of the Neptune Legendary Lost Sector, so it might be worth skipping today. And I did want to talk briefly about a video I made earlier this week about some very easy ways to farm out exotic class items in the Pale Heart. Of course, this is after you've already completed the Dual Destiny exotic mission. You'll then be able to farm out exotic class items. You'll have an RNG chance on every chest in any place in the Pale Heart, and no better place than right here in the landing. If you load into the landing, and remember, of course, this is RNG based, so there's no guarantee. But if you are playing on PC, this is probably the best option for you in order to farm out exotic class items, as you could do this completely AFK. It will require a macro, though I would also recommend, if you are on a console, this is such a passive farm to do, and you do seem to, I wouldn't say get more chests, but get as many chests as you would if you were just running around everywhere without having to deal with any ads. So still kind of a thing I would recommend doing if you just want to take your time and do something very passively. Run over to this spot, wait right here, and you'll be here for about a minute. And you should see a white flash like we just saw. And when that white flash happens, you can run over here. And this chest will spawn. You get Pale Heart Engrams. You also have chances on the exotic class item. Now you can just open your map again and head back over to the landing, reload in, and do the exact same thing. Go to those two spots, and that chest will always spawn. So you could set up a macro to do that. If you notice here, the chest is still there. I don't think I'll be able to loot it again, but let's just give it a try. Unfortunately, no. But if you do that same process over and over again, that chest will continually spawn. But that is going to be it for all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2, the Final Shape, or Echoes content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel, and we do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. If you've watched till this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag Xur, or hashtag the Final Shape, or a hashtag Echoes, or a hashtag Sinister in the comments section for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. When and if we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away an Xbox Series X, or a PlayStation, or a video card if you play on PC. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. And of course, we will see you next time.